So today I'm going to talk about love, right? I was noticing lately as I work with people on core values, or I just riff with people in general about what they want out of life, what's not coming, what they're afraid of, what they're angry about. What I'm noticing is everybody's top core value is ultimately some facet of what I will call truth. For instance, my top core value is faith and spirituality. I just say faith. Sometimes I just say spirit these days. Well, what does that mean? For me personally, what that means is every one of us has worth, we have purpose, we have value. Every one of us is an absolute majestic thing and a gift to this world. No matter what attributes you may have, any disabilities, any racial, there is nothing about anybody on this planet that doesn't make them awesome and worthwhile of love and respect. They may even have problems. They may even have, the justice system may need to deal with them in some way. But my goal as a person, and I fail at this most days, is to wake up and do whatever I can to treat people from that mindset, that they are worthy of my respect, and that everyone I lay eyes on is, as I'll say, I'm just going to say it, a child of God. So I would say for me, that's a foundational truth I operate on. That's bigger than, the old Roman truths. It's bigger than theology. It's bigger than, modernity and postmodernism and all the intellectualism I was taught in philosophy school and all the stuff me and my friends riff about when we get coffee and talk deep. Truth, for me, is that all of us have meaning and purpose, and we should do our best to love one another. And when we fail, when we fail to do that, or let me put it on me. When I fail to do that, I would say that's my cardinal sin. When I failed to done that, I need to have the self-awareness to self-correct. And here we go with the love bit. What I do is I come back to love. Love for self. Love for the child throwing a tantrum. Love for the disagreement at work. Love for the problem on the street, the community, whatever. Love in political action. Love in school board, whatever it is. Coming back to love. Marianne Williamson wrote a whole book called Return to Love. The whole big deal is coming back to love. So, I have clients who are artists. Their core values are beauty. If they make jewelry, great. Well, what does it mean to make jewelry? How do you want someone to feel when they wear your jewelry? I want them to feel beautiful. How does that feel? What is the essence of that? It means something as an artist. Expression is a core value. Well, what? Express what? And they'll say, and we got to really bring it in. I want to know, what are you trying to express? Freedom. People want to be nomadic now. They don't want to be tied down. They want balance, flexibility, work-life balance, whatnot. What will that give you? They teach you this in coach training. Anytime someone gives you a goal, ask them how they'll feel. How will you feel if you attained work-life balance and freedom and you could be nomadic? Well, I'd feel free. I'd feel this way. I'd feel less stressed. I'd feel like I had more time. I'd feel happier. Great. Your goal isn't to be a nomad. Your goal is to feel free and have work-life balance. It just, there's a lot of ways you can achieve that. So remember, your goal is actually how you want to feel. You've associated a feeling with that goal, right? So always remember that. And then we can take apart the goals and say, let's make sure that goal is actually going to get you there, because in a lot of ways it doesn't. Ask people that are older and wiser than you. It doesn't always. Especially if you've got what's called restless ambition, where none of it really fixes. It's more, ambition is moving towards something because you're running from something versus trying to attain something. So everybody's hierarchy ultimately starts with what's true to them. Equity is a huge one. Social justice is a huge one. Great. Why? And when you tell me why, I bet you know what it's going to come back to? Same thing I told you about my core value, top value of faith and spirituality. It's because you think everybody has worth and dignity and should be treated as such. Great. We're in the same team here. You see that? That should be rooted in love. This is bigger than politics. I went to the gym this morning, which I try and do. I try and like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I try and get in my office. I try and do a lot of paperwork. I try and see clients. I try and live stream. I try and do video editing. I went to the gym this morning, and when I got on the elliptical right after my weight training, I looked up and it's just local crap news, conservative big picture national news, liberal big picture national news, fear, 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 anger, 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 rage, rage, rage. Opt out. Unsubscribe. What is beyond all that bullshit, all of that judgment, all of that binary thinking, all of that psychological warfare? On the other side of that is a collaborative existence where real change can occur. And that real change is going to occur when you root your life around the truth of love, show up as who you truly were meant to be with your skills. It might be in corporate. You might be a badass leader. It might be as a musician. It might be as a teacher. It might be as a therapist. It might be as a yoga instructor. It might be anything. It could be as an engineer. Anyway, root it around love. Because love is the only thing you can take to the bank. If you do not root your life around love, and this is all spiritual teachers, Jesus, Buddha, all of them, all of the great yogis, rooted around love. It is the only thing that will sustain you in the long term. Because if you base any of your structures around fear, what you've done is you've taken truth, made it binary, turned it into authority, and by definition, now we've got a problem. We've got someone we have to deal with. Empaths want to fix broken people because they have pity for people rather than actually loving them. They have pity, not love. Authoritarian people want to deal with broken people by saying, "Nope, we can keep our society and structure perfect if you guys stop acting that way." Both scenarios are bad. We're going to become a collaborator. Move above that threshold. That's a dysfunctional threshold. Become a collaborative and creative person. And the way you do that, and I'm going to end here. Have you ever noticed there's two people that are on social media all the time, usually not posting themselves, other people are using them. It's Keanu Reeves and Dave Grohl. And Keanu, I don't get Keanu's amazing. But most of the time, it's just a picture of him and a quote. We don't even know if it's attributed to him. I saw like biblical verses attributed to Keanu the other day. I don't know if Keanu's a Christian, but he's just such a nice guy, right? But the other one is Dave Grohl. And Dave, one of my friends calls him the mayor of rock and roll. He really is, dude. He was the drummer and arguably what moved us out of 80s hair rock into grunge. And he became the founder and frontman of just an amazing rock band. If you haven't listened, I think it's called Here We Are. It's the 2023 record. It's incredible because he lost his drummer and he lost his mother in the same year. It's like a protest record for like your inner child, you know, like so many beautiful lyrics. Like I listened to it all summer, was just jamming to it. You'll see Dave Grohl, and maybe he's feeding some paramedics or some people, firefighters. He's a pit master. He went and learned to do barbecue, and him and his crew will show up, and they will cook barbecue, and they'll feed homeless people, or they'll feed medics in a disaster scenario. When he's got downtime, he'll go and he'll feed people, and it's usually just a picture of Dave Grohl cooking chicken and, you know, with his apron and all on, and shaking people's hands and doing cameos with firefighters and cops and stuff. Why do we love that? It's because there's nothing that's not awesome about that. We're all sort of like hooked on that idea of, look, it's beyond that. The rock guys are beyond that. The old school rock guys were like, let's rage against the whole damn thing. Let's not be pinned down. I had a high school teacher say, you know, Adam, you're really dangerous. And I said, why? And she said, you refuse to color in the lines. People like you are dangerous. I don't know how to teach you. I don't know how to teach people like you. Well, she didn't teach me chemistry. I'm not that great at chemistry. I did enough chemistry to get an allied health degree. But to this day, I don't understand the chemistry, but I understand love. I understand how to treat you with respect. I understand how to, when I was new in the ER, to get down on my knees and look someone in the eye that was having an asthma attack and say, we're going to be okay. I'm not going to leave you. I'm giving you some hardcore meds. You're going to be breathing in just a second. Slow down, breathe. I understand love. You don't have to understand chemistry to understand love, and you don't have to color between someone else's lines. Go to my site, get on my ebook, get my newsletter list. Let's talk about your core values. Thanks, guys.